All right, guys, I think I might be a little early in the season, but I'm going to bring this up because it's very important. I brought the same video up last year, and I want to do a refresher. So at this time, I want you to join me as I dive into a tough conversation about the suicide rate spiking at this time of the year and see if I can raise awareness in a way that would really make a difference for us officers. Now, guys, as we head off into the holiday seasons, I want to talk about something that's really important to me, and that's the alarming trend of suicide rates spiking among correctional officers during this time of the year. It's a topic that is often overlooked, but it's crucial that we bring this to the forefront and start talking about it. The fact is, our law enforcement heroes are struggling, and it's time we take action to support each other and all the law enforcement out there. No matter if you're inside the fence or outside the fence. Now, the statistics are staggering. Studies have shown that officers are more likely to die by suicide in the line of duty. That's a harsh reality, and it's sometime or something that we need to confront head on. It's time to break the silence and start talking about the emotion toll that comes with being a correctional officer. As someone who cares deeply about our correctional community, I want to bring attention to the critical issue. It's not just about raising awareness. It's about saving the lives of our coworkers, their family. We spend hours day in and day out with these people. They are like family. They may not be blood, but they're like family. And it's about saving their lives. And we might be talking about saving your life. So let's dive into this tough conversation and see if we can make a difference. Now, if you like the content I bring to you, let's do some important action to get the show to spread. Let's do it by smashing that subscribe button. Now, the work of correctional officers is incredibly demanding, both physically and emotional. We see and experience things that no human should ever have to go through. It's no wonder that many officers struggles with their mental health. And it's times we start to recognize the signs and start taking actions to help each other. Now, one of the biggest challenges officers face during this time of stress, the holiday seasons, it becomes overwhelming because the overtime, the stress, and then you have to worry about your family, the kids' life. Now, even for those of us who aren't serving on the front lines of justice, add to the consistent exposures to trauma is a recipe for disaster. Officers are often expected to put on a brave face and push right through this stuff day in and day out. But the reality is, we're all human beings, and we need our support, and we need to support each other. And that's where it really starts. Let's start off with each other. And another major issue is isolations. When officers are dealing with the weight of their work, they often feel like they can't talk to anyone, or they're embarrassed to talk to anyone, and they're afraid of being judged, or worse, being seen as weak. This is a sense of isolation, and it can be crippling, and it's something that we need to address head on. Now, the stigma around mental health in law enforcement is huge. It's a huge problem. Our officers are often told to toughen up or get over it. Even like mental health stress leave, they say, that's bogus. You don't need to relax and take time off of that. Yes, we do. We also need the support, the resources, and a safe space to talk about our struggles. Now, we have some of this support. We have the EAP. I know a lot of people say, hey, they tell everything about what we talk about in EAP. I will tell you front hand, that's bullshit. They don't share your stuff. If you need help, that's a place to start. Another place to start is, if you don't want to go through EAP, talk to your physician. They can refer you to someone to talk to. Or if you don't want to be saw or seen in a doctor's office or clinic talking about the situation, there are online doctors you could talk to, and it's not a bad thing. And I'll be honest with you, I use one of them programs. Every couple of weeks, I make a phone call and do a video call, and we talk about what goes on. Uh, as being a correctional officer and then a family life person, I also had the trauma of losing my mother last year. And before that, I lost my older brother. And after a while, it took a toll on me. It got to the way I didn't want to do nothing. I just didn't freaking care. And the people that knows me and has watched to this part of the video could probably tell a difference in my attitude in the past year and year and a half. In certain situations I used to wouldn't be approachable to, I'm more approachable now. It's like leave. I believe you should be able to take your leave because you earned it. You worked hard for it. Don't abuse it. I don't care. Just don't abuse it. We need to utilize our leave, the EAP, our insurance and stuff, and get help. If you know you have an issue, get help. Now, to know you have an issue, we need to recognize the mental health issues that we have. And we got to start talking about it and take this stuff seriously. And if you know someone who needs help, report it. Don't be embarrassed to report it either, because you may be saving your coworker's life, a brother and sister that we work next to all the time. We need to recognize that mental health is just as important as physical health. We need to start treating it the same level of care and attention. It's time to break the stigma and create a culture where officers feel comfortable talking about their struggles. During the holiday seasons, it's tough. Officers are often overwhelmed with the additional responsibilities. The inmate population, they start acting a little different around here. They even get quieter because that's where we have the high rate of inmate suicides also. Because this is when myself as an OIC, I start preaching, make sure you're doing your security checks every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes if you got shots, every hour if you're an open bay population, whatever the rule is where you're at. We stress the fact that we need to make a rounds because the inmate population is going through the same ordeal. And as officers on the street, they have the increased crime rates. As inside the fence, it's not the increased crime rate, it's the increase of the inmate population's attitudes because they're getting their own edge. They're more demanding. They're going to scream like special housing management. They're going to beg for, I need to get hold of my family and this, that, and the other. And that puts a lot of stress on the officers because you're going to have to be saying no and stick to the rules and stuff. But let's get back on topic. This is about you and I. The lack of mental health resources is a major contributing factor of the increased suicide rates. Now, a lot of areas has been working on this, getting more resources to us officers. As we work in this field a lot longer, we build up our own resources that we share with the officers to help them out. Officers often don't have access to help they need, but we do. We have EAP. Most law enforcement agencies has the EAP. It's something that we need to address immediately. I know where I'm at. I had officers ask me about the EAP phone numbers and stuff like that, and I give it to them. I know there's officers out there that don't want to ask for the phone number because they're embarrassed. That's why we post these numbers online on the interweb, the interweb. We got them on bulletin boards. They're all over the place. If you need the number, ask for it, or it's on a wall somewhere. Don't go looking for it. Go to your OIC and ask, hey, what is number to EAP? I don't care what you need a number for. Now, if you need to talk and let me know, we'll talk about that too. But we need to start investing in our mental health. And let's help build up our resources so we can help each other, providing officers with the access of counseling, therapy, or support groups. I spend a lot of hours in special housing units day in and day out. Before I went and got my counseling and stuff, I used to actually talk to the mental health counselors. There's some wacko doodles out there, and there's some decent people you could talk to and use their resources. Traumatic experiences is often a major trigger for many of these officers. we see and experience things that no human should ever have to go through. The behaviors of some of these inmates is just unbelievable. Uh, you know, on social media, you some of us and some people on the outside of our career pushes pictures up of a bloody cell, a messed up cell, and it's got blood everywhere. And people say that don't really happen in real life. And I beg your pardon, that shit really happens. And not only the part that the pictures are missing that people are seeing on social media is when you roll that door. Now you got the self cutters, but then you have the ones that does the stabbing of another person. But when you roll that door and see the scene that you're fixing to walk into, that's traumatic. That's something you don't see every day. We have a weird sense of humor. You stay in this business long enough, when you sit at the dinner table, you bring up the most unusual conversations. And it's normal to us, but to our friends are like, what is wrong with him? He's a wackadoodle. And the holiday seasons can be particularly rough for us officers because we're thinking about our family, our coworkers, traumatic events, stuff like that. And then we start seeing everything going on in the world at this time of the year because it seems like everything at one time is going on. And this is the time of year you get older every year. And as I'm aging, you start thinking about another year is gone. Have I accomplished what I needed to accomplish this year? Did I do the right thing for the family? They're haunted by these memories. And then they're seeing they're aging. And then they're seeing these other things happening on the street. And all this together is a painful reminders of the sacrifice we make every day in our work, the daily life, the things we got going on. I was going to go over this story here, and I'm going to go ahead and go skip over it because I don't want to keep this video dragging out. People don't believe that PTSD in corrections is real. Anxiety is real. Depression is real. All of which triggered by traumatic experiences that we have. The uses of forces we go through, the things we have to do to get these inmates restrained for the most dumbest reasons. It's crazy. So at the end of the video below in my descriptions, I'm also going to put some numbers that you can reach out to if you need help. So I'm going to summarize what we have discussed so far. Now, we talked about the alarming trend of suicide rates spiking among correctional officers during the holiday seasons. We explored the challenges that we face from the stress and the isolation to the stigma around the mental health of our law enforcement careers. We've also looked at the contributing factors and the traumatic experiences to the lack of mental health resources that we may or may not have. As I say, a lot of agencies are putting more into this. They're investing. The last 3 years, we have invested more on resources for us officers. And most importantly, you heard a powerful topics. We know the experiences that we struggle firsthand. And it's also a reminder of the importance of supporting each other. Now, so I want to leave you with this challenge is let's take action to support our officers. Let's break the silence and start talking about the emotional tolls that comes with being a correctional officer. Let's provide them with resources that we need to thrive. And let's show them that we do honestly care about each other. And the outside world needs to show us that they really do care about what we do. We keep the rapists, the murderers, and all of them people off the streets. Now, if you are an officer that is struggling, please know that you're not alone. Reaching out to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health profession, you don't have to face it struggling alone. And if you need help or talking and you need to see me and talk about it, pull me to the side and I'll get you some numbers and some resources. And if you're someone who wants to support our law enforcement heroes, please take a minute to share your own stories, messages of support, in the comments below. Let's create a wave of love and compassion that reach every corner of our law enforcement community. And as always, I would like to thank you for watching Beyond the Badge Inside the Bars, and I'll see you in the next video.